With the advent of Microsoft announcing a new version of the Xbox Series X, it's looking like they're trying to pivot towards a digital-only future, which Microsoft has proven isn't such a bad idea with consoles like the Xbox Series S model of that line. Now, with that being said, does this mean that physical media, physical games are completely dead? I'm not sure, but in this video, I'm going to go over my thoughts and kind of what I think about's going on with the way Microsoft is moving into the future with their Xbox ecosystem. Let's take a look. Perfect. There was a recent FTC leak showing that the new Microsoft Xbox Series X is going to be a little different. It's going to actually come out in a circular form factor, but the biggest thing that I noticed in this leak was that Microsoft is really pushing hard at the fact that this is a digital-only device. In other words, this device itself isn't something that Microsoft is really putting much stock into providing a disk drive with, which is a lot different than their approach with the Series S. In other words, it looks like Microsoft is trying to pivot themselves towards a digital-only future. Me personally, I like having physical copies of games. I love when there's certain games that come out with special collector edition boxes or cases or steel booklets, and it does leave a little of a bitter taste for me if this is the route that Microsoft is completely going. However, it does appear that Microsoft is bracing for some sort of attachment to these devices. So if you look, there was a leak, this was a couple years ago, I believe, but it was on a disk drive. So in other words, this was back in like 2022. There's basically going to be the potential, and it's not guaranteed, but the potential that Microsoft is going to release like a USB attachment or something, which they have had experience with doing in the past. I don't know if anyone ever remembers the HD drive that you could get for your Xbox 360. So it looks like this is something they're exploring to kind of give previous owners of older games or older content an option to play them on these digital-only consoles. Because I've said this before, on the Series S, one of the things that I dislike is that I can't attach anything to play some of the games or share some of my physical library with my son's Xbox. So what I'm trying to get at overall, however, between Microsoft going the digital route on their new Xbox Series X refresh and the patent that was back a couple years ago, and what I'm trying to get at with these two things is that my gut tells me that the approach that we're going to slowly see being taken here with Microsoft is that we're going to eventually have some newer games just never make it to home media. And you're even seeing that's happening with games like Alan Wake 2, where they're not even going to have a physical release at all. And I think that's going to slowly become a trend that you're going to see more and more frequently as the generation of gaming progresses, which to me is kind of bittersweet. I've definitely purchased some digital-only games, especially online ones that I can share with my son on our Xboxes, but there's still something I really like about having the physical media. It's kind of similar to why I collect vinyl records. I like the experience I get with taking it out of the case, looking at it, touching it, feeling it, and then putting it into my console. But unfortunately, I think this is just a sign of the times and kind of a logical progression of where a lot of us gamers kind of assumed everything was going anyways. And I think we're going to slowly see in the next couple of years physical media become more and more phased out completely. Now, I do appreciate, however, that there is potential that we might still have access for our old titles, but it really sucks for the future of new titles.